So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the actual piece of Vancouver Canucks news from today, because Patrick Allvin, Emily Castonguay, they're going out there and working the cap and moving the numbers around one more time. Take a look at this. GM Patrick Allvin announced today that Guillaume Brisebois, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, and Max Sasson have all been assigned to the Abbotsford Canucks. And the question is whether or not any of these guys will be called up tomorrow in order to play against the... What is the team that the Canucks are going to play against tomorrow? They have themselves the LA Kings. Oh, that's going to be a tough matchup, isn't it? Take a look at this Tyson Cole tweet, Spittin' Picklets, that goes out there and describes what's happening here. The Abby Canucks play tonight, so you can expect all three players to be in the lineup. However, this leaves just 11 healthy forwards on the NHL roster. Sasson will likely be called up back coming tomorrow and draw back into the Canucks lineup. So with that in mind, I mean, did Max Sasson play yesterday against the Winnipeg Jets? No, he did not. Okay. So that actually makes sense. Okay, send Sasson down today, have him play in Abbotsford, and then have him play against the LA Kings tomorrow, so you're not giving him 3 game days in a row, you're just giving him 2. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, I wanted to get that out of the way here before we dive into some of the other Canucks talk ideas. In particular, this video has a really spicy title because we are going over to one of the latest Sekeres and Price episodes where you had Cam Robinson make an appearance as a guest. And if you're familiar with the NHL scouting world, if you're familiar with hockey prospects, and or if you've been on the Canucks Twitter side of things for a long time now, you're probably super familiar with Cam Robinson. He is the content director and director of film scouting at Elite Prospects, who used to be one of the main guys on the Dauber Prospects team, and who himself is also from BC. So there were many moments throughout the past 7-8 years or so when we would be reading Cam Robinson tweets about Canucks prospects and everything, but he's got a really great spot at Elite Prospects, and of course, since Elite Prospects is all about prospects, there are many insider scoops that Cam Robinson can drop, like this one on the recent Sekeres and Price episode. Take a look at this tweet by Taj. Cam Robinson said on the show, "I've had people reach out to me and say that Elias Pettersson isn't the only star on that team that's fed up with JT Miller. By my estimation, there's only one other star on that Canucks team, and that's Quinn Hughes." Oh boy. And to be fair, one of the top replies says, "The only other star on the team? Excuse me?" Quinny the Pooh tweets out a picture of Thatcher Demko here. And then another reply from D. Baird says, "Demko and Besser are the only other options to pull from, really stretching things to call Garland or Hronek a star." But that is the scoop, according to Cam Robinson, that apparently it's not just Pettersson that is a star player on the Canucks that is also fed up with Miller. And just to add on to the conversation a bit more, this is what Todd Naslund said. "Cam has his sources. He has broken news sometimes before the regular insiders. If he states something, it's usually legit." And so I wanted to dive into that, because obviously it doesn't make for a fun and engaging conversation to talk about people on our favorite hockey team not liking each other, but if it's gotten to a point now where every other media insider, whether it's national media, local media, digital media, TV media, everybody is talking about this. When we get a scoop, like apparently Elias Pettersson isn't the only guy in the Canucks locker room who happens to be a top-tier player, a star player who is upset and fed up with Miller, that's a big deal. Because here's the thing. Quinn Hughes, this is 100% his team. There might have been some ambiguity over the past few years. Oh, is it Bo Horvat's team, or is it Miller's team, or is it Pettersson's team? Nah, sorry, it's Quinn's team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is the best player on the team, and that will always be the case as long as he is doing what he is doing. And I do agree with the sentiment that is talked about in the replies here, this is what Dean went out there and said. If it's true that Hughes also is fed up with Miller, Miller would have been traded already. Hughes is the type of player that the Canucks make moves for. Hughes is God to the Canucks. He would have been gone already, I feel, if Hughes was indeed pissed off with the guy. If Hughes doesn't want him on the team, he will be gone. management will be very stupid to not listen to Quinn Hughes. And so I wanted to propose that idea and that thought process out into the YouTubes, because I do think that if you read some of the tea leaves, if you look at some of the insider conversation, of course, I'm not going to doubt Cam Robinson's sources here. The guy is one of the most connected people in the hockey world because of his elite prospects roots, and ever since his work at Dobber, he has given Canucks fans many reasons to listen to him continuously about stuff. And ultimately, if there is some sort of inkling that another star in the Canucks locker room is fed up with Miller, you have to wonder, like, if it's not Hughes, who is it? Is it Thatcher the Snatcher? Is he really in a position to go out there and start not liking guys or being fed up with guys? We know Demko himself is a little bit of a quieter personality. He's not really as loud and energy-filled like a JT can be. Is it Brock? Brock Besser plays with JT Miller, and he has exhibited the majority of his success in the NHL with the guy. So I don't necessarily know if it's Brock Besser that would be fed up with Miller either, unless, I do kind of recall that Besser is more of a sensitive guy. They call him Mr. Sensitive for a reason, because it would really upset him when you use that name. But if Brock Besser is also in a position where maybe he's getting a little bit chomped at the bit by Miller's on him a little bit, maybe there's a realistic idea that says that he can get upset too. But I think star. Is Brock Besser a star? I don't know, man. He's been a pretty good player, but is he a star? Quinn Hughes, on the other hand, I'd say if he is in a position to dislike anybody or be fed up with anybody, I do agree with the sentiment that that player probably would have found himself out of the organization if Quinn Hughes didn't want him there. Like, we've seen Rick Tocchet have such command over these players in the past. The management listens to Rick. They got rid of Kuzmenko really quickly. They got rid of Bronstrom. They got rid of Sprong. If Rick Tocchet is not vibing with a player, the management listens. The only guy that I could think this hasn't really been an example of is Niels Höglander, who is still on the team and who actually scored a goal yesterday. But for everybody else, I mean, Rick Tocchet does have influence when the Canucks make moves. And I guess for Quinn Hughes, you could say that there must be that same respect going over to him, right? So if Hughes is upset or fed up with Miller, he wants the guy out or whatever, maybe there should have been a trade by now. Who really knows? But anyways, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this crazy idea that was tossed out there on Sekeres and Price, that apparently there is another star on the team, or I guess from the way that it's written out here, I've had people reach out to me and say Pettersson isn't the only star on the team that's fed up with Miller. There could be more than one, honestly. There could be 2 or 3 other guys that are fed up with Miller, but how many other stars do the Vancouver Canucks have? It's all subjective and it's all semantic, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I don't know, is this really even a talking point? We made an 8-minute video about it. I guess we can upload this, so comment section is going to be your floor. I'll leave a link in the description to the Sekeres and Price episode that has Cam Robinson on it as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.